So, today we're going to talk about three creepy stories about children saying the weirdest things. So, let's get into it. I'll let these videos play and then I'll tell you at the very end an instance where a child said something to me that kind of set me off balance because it was just astronomically weird. All right, guys, enjoy.
What is the creepiest thing your kid ever said?
When my daughter was 3, she came in my room in the middle of the night, woke me up, and said, "Mommy, can you please get the little girl out of my room?" And I'm sleeping. I'm like, "What little girl?" She's like, "The little girl. She's jumping on my bed. She wants to play with me. She won't get out of my room." I'm like, "Oh, just sleep with me." So she slept with me. The next day, I didn't think anything of it. Then she comes to me and says, "I'm so sick of Daddy moving my toys around in my dollhouse. He comes in my room and plays with my dollhouse and moves them all around." I'm like, "I highly doubt your father's doing that. He probably banged into it by accident, making your bed or something." This went on for pretty much every morning. Somebody's rearranging my dollhouse. Didn't think anything of it at all. The only reason I thought of it was because one night me and my husband come in from outside and our oldest daughter comes and says, oh my gosh, Mom, Dad, the freakiest thing just happened." And we're like, "What?" And she's like, "I came downstairs and Jen was in the kitchen. And then I see her walk by, so I walk to follow her in her room to see if she's okay. And I see her in her bed sleeping. But she was just walking. So I wanted to make sure that she wasn't tricking me. So, I tried to wake her up, but she was sleeping. She wasn't joking. "I think I saw a ghost." And I'm like, oh crap. Oh crap. Jennifer said there was a little girl in her room. I wonder. So the next day I say to Jennifer, "What does the little girl look like?" And she said, "She has long blonde hair, blue eyes, and she's white. She looks like me." Okay, because my daughter had long blonde hair, blue eyes, and I said, "Is she your age?" And she said, "No, she's younger than me. She's probably 2 or 3. Now my daughter was 4, maybe 4.5. So I'm like, holy crap. So, I'm on the phone with my mom and my sisters, and I'm like, I'm freaking out, and I'm like, what the hell do I do? And my sister reminds me, I trash picked that damn dollhouse, like right when this whole thing started going. But you don't notice little things, right? I was like, oh my God. I brought a spirit into my house by trash picking this like handmade built dollhouse I thought was beautiful. Like, oh, and that's the dollhouse the furniture was being arranged in. Her furniture didn't come with furniture. I just trash picked the dollhouse. Anyway, long story short, we ended up burning the dollhouse in the fire pit to try to get rid of the spirit. And then maybe 6 months later, my daughter comes to me and says, "Oh my gosh, Mom, we burned that little girl's dollhouse, and then she burned our house down because we were living in a hotel because our whole entire house burned down." Coincidence or creepy crawly? I have no idea.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you? So this morning, I take my 4-year-old to the doctor. He had an ear infection a couple of weeks ago. We went in for a follow-up. Everything's okay. As we are leaving, we pass a couple of wheelchairs in the lobby. And my 4-year-old looks at them and says, "I've never used a wheelchair." And I say, "Well, your legs work just fine. You don't need a wheelchair." And my 4-year-old says, in his perfectly innocent 4-year-old voice, "After our car accident, I'll need a wheelchair." Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
This trend belongs to my aunt, but she's not on TikTok, so here you go. My mom and I were moving into a new house, so my aunt and my cousin came to help us. After making a few trips inside, my 6-year-old cousin takes a seat on a stump in the front yard. He then turns and looks at the 3 of us out of the blue and says this place was built on an Indian burial ground. Once he saw the looks of "what the fuck" set into all 3 of our faces, he then began to hysterically cry and ran to my aunt. Looking back, we really should have loaded our shit back up and left. For the following 12 months, my sister was thrown down the stairs. I had a very large something get in my bed with me. I had a big green head floating outside my window. The fabric, non-electrical angel on our Christmas tree caught fire. We had a random message pop up on our answering machine of a mother beating her daughter with no missed calls on any of the caller IDs. Long story short, we ended up going to the local library and finding out it was built on a burial ground.
Story is very short, but it was alarming. I had a niece and I had a boyfriend at the time that a lot of people seem to have their reservations about. So when my niece and I were in the room together, she tugs on my shirt. She says to me, "You really need to watch the people around you." And I looked at her with my mouth agape. I couldn't believe that a 3-year-old would say something like that. And when I asked her why did she say that, she just looked at me with no explanation. So yeah, kids get information and downloads from the other side and from higher beings above us. So maybe that's where these children are getting these ideas and also seeing these spirits. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think could be happening. I am Malice Alice or Horror Honey. Talk to you later.